Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank you for this hearing. I hope you will put a bill in front of the committee and let us start marking it up. I think if you took all the words spoken on Capitol Hill about this issue, they'd fill about half the cloud. And I think it's time we did something. I do think that the preemption issue is going to be a very important threshold issue. Y'all could just give me some short answers here, I'd appreciate it. Mr. O'Kelly, can we agree that Google and Facebook are so big, they're no longer companies, they're countries?
Thank you for the question. Yes.
I can't see your names down here, so I'm just going to, I'll call you Professor.
Professor 1 and Professor 2.
I know, Professor 1 and Professor 2. Professor 1.
You asked for it.
Do you think the size and behavior of Google and Facebook violates American antitrust laws?
The antitrust laws don't make size the violation. The issue is whether there has been a violation by protecting a monopoly.
Let me try it again. I don't know as much antitrust law as you. I think that's clear. Are Google and Facebook in violation of the antitrust laws of the United States?
It would be great if someone opened an investigation to figure that out.
You don't have an opinion?
The issue is actually that a lot of what you would need to know is private information, and I think some government entity, this committee or an agency, should be working on that with subpoena.
You don't have an opinion, Professor?
Have they violated the antitrust laws? I don't know enough to want to say
How about you, Professor?
they're liable.
I also don't know enough to say.
Okay. Mr. O'Kelly?
I think they have.
Okay. Thank you for being your candid answer.
Can I give you a quote that I think applies to this?
Quickly.
Teddy Roosevelt. When aggregate wealth demands what is unfair, its immense power can be met only by the still greater power of the people as a whole.
Okay. Next.
I think an investigation might be a good idea.
You're not willing to go on record to say they're in violation of the law?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay. Counselor?
I haven't seen any evidence of a violation. In fact, the FTC had an investigation and found that there was not enough evidence to bring a case.
Okay, are any of you willing to step up and say, strike that, I didn't mean it to come out that way. Do any of you believe Facebook and Google should be broken up?
No.
I do.
Okay.
I don't think it's as simple as that. I think people need to be able to decide how their data is used by those companies, and then the user can decide to softly break up those companies or unbreak them up. It's not necessarily the government's job in this case to break them up yet. People should be able to break them up. And when the scandal happened with Cambridge Analytica, etc., people only had this one choice: delete Facebook. That's a bad choice.
Is anybody willing to?
So if there were investigation into Facebook's acquisitions of Instagram and WhatsApp, for example, and if that investigation determined that those were illegal acquisitions, then a possible remedy would be divestiture.
I get that part, Professor. You don't have an opinion right now?
Well, that's, I believe, what most people mean by the breakup, so I'm just clarifying that's certainly a possible viable path.
Do any of you... Could each of you, let me ask you, Mr. O'Kelly, because you've got actual real-world experience, do you think it's possible to draft a user agreement of, say, 500 words or less that a 10th grader could understand before using one of these social media platforms?
I don't think it would have the effect that we want. I think that needs to be law, that these rights are protected.
I'm not talking about the law. I'm trying to figure out a way. If you look at the user agreements now, a lot of them you could hide dead bodies in and nobody would ever find them. I'm trying to see if it's possible. I understand the companies have to cover themselves legally. But can you write a user agreement that a 10th grader could understand, or a United States senator, as the case may be, that a consumer could look at and go, okay, I understand what I'm knowingly and willingly giving up here?
I think you can draft that user agreement. And if I may, my concern is that if I look at my daughter and you say to her, all your friends are on Facebook, and this user agreement means you give up privacy, she's going to go and click yes because she wants to talk to her
I get
friends.
that part.
Yeah.
Professor, you think you can do that?
I do. I think we can create a standard set of questions that occur on most online usages that that a person can understand. This app is going to use your location, and then for these purposes, I think we could. But it requires some coordination and standardization.
Okay. All right, I'm 1 minute over, but everybody else went over. Counsel, I need to ask you a question on a somewhat related subject. Freshfields, great law firm, been around forever. Do you have a Beijing office?
We do.
The lawyers who staff it, are they citizens of China?
Some of them are.
Are any of them members of the Communist Party of China?
I have no idea.
Okay. Do any of them have access to the technology of your clients?
I have no idea.
Has your firm ever looked at that?
I don't know.
Are you a partner?
No.
You're just an associate?
Counsel.
Counsel. Could you get me an answer to that?
I will look into it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.